Just hear it. Next time you come, wait your I am not talking about that. I'm talking about you in 2024, December, saying there's corruption. Bring it.
Let me ask you this question. I would like to ask the AG to propose legislation for what we call small claims court. There are lots of poor people, to an example you just gave, that they have issues with others and sometimes with large firms, but the lawyer fee is greater than the fee you're claiming.
It is their right. Unlike the right that someone has, all of our rights exist in context.
What is the context of a second medical opinion?
Because you're disrespecting the process.
No.
Jesus, this is common sense, man.
Any situation which you seem to do, you're just dealing with Afro-Guyanese issues. If one, you can't bring and pull the leaders of the African community together, you're failing. And if two, you can't put forward a future, a blueprint, and a plan for African Guyanese, you're failing as well.
Hi there. Very pleasant evening to you. Welcome to the Freddie Kissoon Show. Leonard, Craig and I have said on this program many times that a politician must have self-confidence, and that self-confidence should lead him into different pathways, different directions in order to maximize his politics and what he believes in, and to advocate for what he believes in. And that particular name has cropped up many times in this program, that there is a politician who is not afraid to go out there and fight. And he has one motto. I am going out there and fight for what I believe in and what I want to say, and you can't get the better of me, and I will not allow you to get the better of me. That's a good character trait. And one of the persons we have spoken about with that kind of quality, whether you like him or not, he has that kind of quality. He goes out there and he will bat. And that is Ganesh Mahipal, the vice presidential candidate for APNU in the 2025 election. This is the fourth time Ganesh has graced our program. We're coming to you from my home at 47 Area Q Turkine. Leonard Craig is my co-host, and sitting on my extreme left is Apnu, and on my near left is the PPP. So the best thing to do is to hand over to Leonard Craig. So, Leonard.
Welcome, Ganesh.
Ganesh, thanks for being here. You are a fighter, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Who can get the better of you? I can get the better of you this afternoon. You want to take a bet on that? Ganesh is a liar. Ganesh is a liar.
I don't plan to be loud today.
No, I would like to endorse what Freddie has said. I have tremendous respect for Ganesh. Is that Ganesh is not one of the persons who hide behind a sobriquet or anything like that, whether on Facebook, whether in real life or what have you, in order to poke at people. He comes out, he says what he has to say, live with the consequences, defend it as much as he can, and I think that is a superb quality.
You may not like his politics, but you have to admire that quality in a politician.
Yes.
You know how many dozens of them from across the aisle. No, I ain't ready yet. No.
Yeah, I have tremendous respect for that. And Ganesh, you may or may not be ambushed.
But
Ganesh also, Ganesh can come out of the ambush.
But let me be honest
come out of the ambush.
Both gentlemen, let me say this to you. A politician must not allow himself or herself to be consumed by what they may deem as personal attacks. I believe that a politician should be someone who speaks what they firmly believe in, but they must not allow themselves to go into the gutter and attack people personally, talk things about their family, and get dirty. That is not what politics is about.
Yep.
A lot of people have said to me, young people too, that they don't want to be a part of politics because it's a dirty game. And I keep telling them that politics is not a dirty game. The people who play it makes it dirty. And if we can attract a group of people that will understand that politics is about policies, projects and programs, and it more focuses on the individual who's in office and what he or she may have done, and don't bring in people's wives, people's daughters, people's mothers, and so on. I don't agree and subscribe to that kind of politics. And I am very comfortable with anybody telling me anything. They could even attack me personally. It would not bother me, because if there is no truth to it, then I must not allow it to consume me. But I will stick firm to what I believe in, and I will advance my political positions. And if at any time in that I may offend someone by attacking them personally, it will be unconscionable on my part to do that. And if I recognize it, I will quickly apologize for it.
Before we start, before I come in with my first question, you made a lapse in coming here. I thought when you came up my step and entered my home, you'd have a parcel in your hand. And that is a green shirt to give him.
Well, I didn't know Leonard was going to be here, but I must tell you, I brought this APNU pen for you. I specifically asked Aubrey Norton, our presidential candidate, for this pen, so that when you hold it and write, it must guide your conscience, so that you will not continue to write things that are untrue about Aubrey Norton, and you will more be focused on allowing your conscience to be guided to write the truth.
Freddie, you accepting that?
Why Ganesh Mahipal on the panel here? Ganesh, my first question, could you respond to talks around the place, it's almost ubiquitous, and the rumors too, that Azzuddin Mohammed Wynn's party is targeting constituencies that are traditionally embracing of the People's National Congress, not APNU, the PNC.
But I don't know if I will agree that he is only targeting communities that were traditional or are traditionally known to be APNU. When I look, and I am guided by data, and I made this point to some other people, when you look at the list of candidates for the Wynn party, 73% of the people that are on the list of candidates are from constituencies won by the People's Progressive Party in the past. So you may see 10 names from, let's say, Linden, but dive a little deeper and see where those 10 names came from. And do recall, PPP wins about 3,000 plus votes in Linden. And which area does that 3,000 votes come from? Take another place, for example. When you look at let's say, Wakenham. Wakenham has 1,600 votes that the PPP would traditionally get, and the APNU 4,000. In our constituency, he doesn't have a candidate there, but he has from the PPP constituency. I say to you again, look deeper into what you see. Not because Linden is a stronghold of the PNC and you see 8 candidates there from Linden, means that it comes from the constituency of the PNC. Look directly where it comes from. And I'm telling you again, 73% or thereabout of the candidates on the 3 lists of candidates for the Wynn party, majority of them comes from the PPP constituencies.
And that is the data you uncovered.
That is the data we have uncovered. And we're in politics. So what we did was to examine the submission of the lists, and we looked at the candidates, all that he presents in Georgetown here, for example, in South Georgetown. When you look at where the candidates come from, they come from the the street that is normally dominated by PPP votes. Because remember, in elections, these
In
boxes...
Georgetown?
Yes, Georgetown gets PPP votes come from Georgetown too. Remember,
No, the streets are
Freddie,
double streets. Anyway, go on.
remember, ballot boxes are placed in an area that captures at most 400 votes. So the 400 is a cluster that is extracted. And if you put a ballot box here, for example, and this is Georgetown we're in. So if I put a ballot box at Freddie Kissoon's home, it will capture 400 people around Freddie Kissoon's home. History has shown that this particular area votes PPP. But in the totality of Georgetown, they vote APNU. But in this particular area here, the address that you have given, if there's a, I drove in just now coming into you, and there's a house decorated in wind colors.
Brian Nabuga.
Okay, fair enough. But what I'm saying is that what it shows now is that when you go deep down into where particularly the address of these candidates are, and you look at the area of that you look at that area in previous elections, they primarily vote PPP.
And what that signals to you?
It signals to me that WIN has been making inroads in PPP strongholds and PPP areas, and not necessarily PNC areas.
So you're thinking...
And I am not going to be...
So you're
and I am
thinking
not
that...
going to be, let me say this other part. I am not going to be concluding in my head that because a certain demographic is out in numbers, throwing their, what you may say, public support to WIN, is a conclusion that they will vote for WIN. The evidence has shown us that the people, when they go into ballot box, into the polling station to cast their ballot, they do it based on their own volition. They don't allow themselves to be interfered when they go in. They're at least sensible people. And then we have to also ask ourselves, how many of the young people that we see graffitating to WIN are actually registered to vote? Are they of voting age? Today's society, we see several 16, 17-year-olds riding the streets on the motorbikes that call themselves, unfortunately, scrapes and tugs and what's not. And the question is, are they registered to vote? That is what you have to also take into account. A lot of 16-year-old and 17-year-olds are out there because they have completed secondary school. Some have not, but they have not reached 18. And because of a poor society in terms of social norms and developing the home to cater for these young people, they are left to wander, and they find themselves engaged in activities that are unbecoming, of course, and wayward to an extent where parents and so on may not have control over their actions. But then again, we ask ourselves, are they eligible to vote? What we have found, and we have done as a political party that has been around for 70 plus years, the PPP also having that kind of track record, both political parties are doing in-depth analysis of the situation. Maybe Leonard Craig, who is now come PPP, will not be exposed to that level
You have to say that anyway.
but it's factual. He may not be exposed to that kind of information, and he may not be, he have not reached the status of being in that kind of circle. But I have been there in my party, and I am at the top where I'm exposed to what happens behind closed doors in terms of in-depth analysis. And I am telling you that we are not bothered by what the win factor may have in these elections. And further, the only thing we are guiding our people on, which we believe strongly, is that the PPP and WIN are going to, at some point in the future, become again best of friends. Records have shown that people come out from the PPP, they part ways, and then they seem to want to convince the population that they are independent, and then in the future they return back to the PPP. Asha Kissoon is a living example. Lennox Schumann is a living example. Manzoor Nadir is a living example. So I have no doubt in my mind that Azzuddin Mohammed and Irfan Ali will kiss and make up. And the Guyanese people must know, if they are willing to waste their vote, behind someone who will say something today and very well tomorrow kiss and make up with Irfan, who is responsible for the current status of this country.
But you know that the accusation,
COVID, anyway.
like you know that the accusation is being made that there is a collaboration between the Mohammeds and the PNC.
I would like to set the records very straight. There is no collaboration between Asadin Mohammed and the People's National Congress Reform. There is no collaboration between the Mohammed and the APNU. At no time did the Mohammeds make any effort, or any effort was made on any side to seek any form of collaboration, whether it's in the form of resource or whether it's in the form of partnering or whatever. There was at no time anything of the sort has been done. We are a well-established and well-oiled election machinery. We get our support from our comrades on the ground, and we are well geared towards winning the elections come 2025, September 1st.
Yeah, you believe you could win the election?
I know we will win the elections.
All right. Let me ask you this thing. There is the rumor out there that you were earmarked for prime ministerial candidate of the APNU.
I think that was
election.
almost a given, man.
Right. And then suddenly, like a flash in the pan, Jaretta just swooped in and became the prime ministerial candidate. Would you care to offer an explanation?
Of course. Early in 2022, when Leader Norton became leader of the PNC in 2021, and in 2022 we began to explore and put into movement election preparation. As you know, as an established party, we have to be prepared all the time. So with the change from Granger to Norton as leader of the party, of course there are going to be certain changes that will happen. A 5-member team consisting of myself, Leader Norton, and 3 others whom I don't have the authority to name at this point in time because they never give me that authority. Leader Norton, myself, and 3 others sat down and we were exploring in our heads possibilities of presidential and prime ministerial candidate. The party subsequently in the 2023
local government.
No, the 2024 Congress, Biennial Delegates Congress, gave Norton the mantle of being gave Norton the mandate to be the presidential candidate. The party did that. Its membership, by way of a majority, passed through a motion and became a resolution. So Norton being presidential candidate was unquestionable. The prime ministerial candidate, I was among the 4 others, including Leader Norton, that we started to look. My name was one being considered. Jaretta was also being considered, and 2 other persons I know were being considered. I was the one, Freddie, who said to Leader Norton, Jaretta would not be a bad choice. This is before they left the AFC, or this is before the AFC even came into being, of leaving or parting ways with the APNU. Remember, we were still operating as APNU AFC. Given that the party mandated Aubrey from the PNC as presidential candidate, it is a given that another PNC person cannot be the prime ministerial candidate because we're a coalition and we have to show that kind of you understand, with the other side. You can't exclude them and take the 2 top positions. So we know the AFC had to produce the prime ministerial candidate. Among the 5, which was strictly PNC business, Jaretta's name came up. I was the one who said to Leader Norton, Jaretta is a female, Jaretta is an indigenous woman, Jaretta is academically accomplished, and she stands for me the better chance of being the prime ministerial candidate because she comes from the AFC side of things. That was what my position I proffered. That was accepted. The 5 unanimously agreed. That was the PNC's position, but we did not impose that position onto the AFC. They didn't even know we were having that kind of discussion. Then comes the talks when we came into the coalition talks, and I was a part of the coalition talks, so I can speak confidently about this. When we reached and we were going to have the discussions, the AFC started off with what I will consider outlandish proposals, wanting certain percentage that I could not have fathomed, and it broke down. You know, it broke down. I don't want to go in details because I don't want to be accused of bringing out sensitive information, but it broke down. The talks broke down. It was Juretta, and when the talks broke down, my name came up again as prime ministerial candidate because we were of the opinion that is the end of the AFC and the APNU. So now we're the APNU alone, so my name came up again for prime ministerial candidate. Then Juretta, Sherrod, and Ricky made moves to show that they're still inclined to coalition politics. And that led to them parting ways in whatever means with the AFC and signal their intention to be a part of the coalition APNU. And in so doing, I endorsed it, I supported it, and I'm rallying around Juretta. I do believe she's a better candidate than me. I do believe she brings women issues to the fore on this particular campaign trail. I do believe she is academically accomplished, and most of all, it is a time given to Guyana where we can elect for the very first time a female indigenous prime minister, bringing the Amerindians, bringing the indigenous people where they rightly belong, right there at the top, to treat them with some degree of strong representation, stronger than what they're having right now, and hopefully lift them out of the nightmare they find themselves in. I endorse Juretta and fully support her.
I see some conflict in what you've said. Why do you think that the APNU or the PNC in coalition with other parties could give itself the right to choose a prime ministerial candidate in another party? Isn't that party is the party with the right to do so? And I'm casting your mind back on the fight between Nagamutu and Ramjatan. When the party chose Ramjatan and the PNC said to the AFC, and AFC say, what's up with that? We are the people who, what's your views on that?
All right, well, let me clarify. It was never us imposing Juretta onto the AFC for them to decide. I don't know about that. What I know is that...
No, but by your mere action, you have done that.
You said there was consideration and she came out on top.
What you said just now, Leonard, is not accurate. When the AFC walked away from the talks and there was no agreement on a coalition, then is when my name resurfaced for prime ministerial candidate. Separate and apart from that, Juretta, Sherrod, and Ricky, they were doing their own thing at AFC level, where they were fighting amongst themselves and they were saying they're all for coalition politics. They then picked themselves up from the AFC and came to the APNU and said, we are interested in coalition politics. We are not interested in this go-alone thing. And they said they're interested in coalition politics.
You don't see
I sat in a meeting with them and the leader, and they expressed themselves having an interest in being a part of the coalition. So when they said that, we said, okay. After that, the team of 5 reached again, which excludes them. They don't know what's going on with the team of 5. That's a strict PNC thing. And these names came up again. And I endorsed, support, and rallied around Juretta. So that's what I'm saying to you.
You don't think there's a cutthroat move?
What they did there,
yes,
in terms of signaling that they are interested in coalition politics as opposed to being still
cutthroat
with the AFC.
To the AFC, yeah.
But you did the same. You left the AFC and went to the PDP.
I left the AFC the proper way. I resigned. I told them I had exit discussion with both leaders and all of that. Don't mix me up in that. Don't mix me up in that.
No, but I see you.
The AFC was blindsided. The AFC said that, and the AFC met and had to expel them, and they threatened to go to court and all of that. So it's not the same thing.
I'm not aware of all that.
It's not the same thing.
I'm not aware of all that. My focus, and I'm being very honest with you, in this political atmosphere, my focus is PNC and APNU, and my target is the PPP. My target is the PPP. I don't see.
So why are you pointing to me?
You're the PPP, and I point to you.
Okay. I am the representative. Okay. I accept this, all right.
Thank you. So I am saying to you, I don't see the AFC as any threat to the APNU. I don't see WIN as any threat to the APNU. I don't see, what's the other one? Forward Guyana Movement. And I got another one. What's the other one? You don't even know them. People don't
Assembly of something.
Yeah. So they
I honestly don't know.
ALP, Assembly Liberty something. But the point I'm making, for me,
Simona Boomston, I don't know.
for me, the battle here is between the APNU and the PPP.
And you know you're going to be scorched big time.
If you didn't say that, you might have been. They might kick you out. So say it. Take control. Say what you gotta say.
No. You were the person. You were the person saying. You're the person saying. I just asked a question. It's for you to answer. I am more of an interviewer.
No, you made a statement. You made a statement. You said, and you know you will be scorched. So I said, say what you got to say, because if you don't say it, they might flash you out and kick you out. And I don't know where you're going to go, because I know the AFC will collect you. Don't worry, they pen you got Big Ben up. People will welcome you. But you will not be
not in this lifetime.
Politics.
Not in this lifetime, guys.
Let me tell you something. I think I told Freddie this before. And
You
Freddie,
told me many things.
thank you for having me in your living room. To bring a politician in your living room.
Ganesh, you and I go back since the
I know.
We not in the telephone conversation said to me, Freddie, I got nothing against you. We must be different, and we must.
I agree,
Ganesh,
but I also
Ganesh, you and me all right. Say it to me, Freddie, you and me all right.
We're all right, Freddie.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You're not going to sue me for saying me and you are right.
No.
Okay.
Man, I don't operate like that. But listen, I want to say this to you. In politics, it's like your home. Politics is like your home. There's certain people in political parties that you accept at your gate. You don't bring them further than there. There's certain people that can come at your bottom house. There's certain people that can come in your living room.
You mean my living room?
Yes, I'm in a high status there. There's certain people that can go to your veranda. There's certain people that can go to your kitchen. And there's certain people that can go in your bedroom. I'm telling you, Leonard Craig right now, in my view, probably is at the bottom house of the PPP. But when it comes to the PNC, we will treat him
Ganesh,
better.
you have to be that insensitive.
Ganesh,
You start you have to.
Ganesh, I am saying to you, allow him, he doesn't know. But however, I am going to say, whether I at the bottom house or not, your entreaty and invitation,
right,
not in this lifetime, Ganesh. So I can say that to you off the bat.
Many people have lived to regret those kind of statements. Who would have thought Joey Jackson would support the APNU? Who would have thought Odinga Lumumba would have gone over to the PPP? Who would have thought that you would have left the AFC and go to the PPP?
You're gone again?
No,
Who would have thought Freddie Kissoon, who was disrespected by Priya Manikchan? This boy, Jason Abdullah, was charged and placed in the court and convicted for throwing miasmic fluid on Freddie's face. Today, Freddie is in the same party of Jason Abdullah.
I'm not in any party.
Okay, well, he's a supporter. Let me correct myself.
I write in support of
he writes
finale.
in support of the PPP. And Jason Abdullah, the man who was convicted for throwing miasmic fluid into Freddie's face, is the #1 name on the list of the PPP candidates. Then on that very list, you have people like Dharam Lal, who was accused of being a rapist, who was removed
hold on.
because of all those accusations.
Stop there for me.
Hold on, I can't continue.
The whole list, no.
Hold on,
man. The whole list of things that you are going to call, you are saying none of that could be found on the APNU's list? I mean, all of these, both lists got some defects in it, and to sit here and highlight defect by defect, you're going into dangerous grounds, you know.
No, I'm going to point out 25% of the PPP's list of candidates have people that are plastered in the media for several...
And the APNU have no such people and have never had over the years.
Well, if you can point to me anybody in the APNU list that is plastered around the country as a rapist, plastered as a child molester, plastered as
alleged.
Well, plastered for allegedly being involved in those kind of things. You point me to one, I will personally go to that person right now and request of them to remove their name.
My conclusion.
Support the man fight.
Well, they find it.
No. I am not going to go down there. Ganesh, right now, Ganesh standing at the edge of the gutter. And I'm not going there with Ganesh. I'm standing up.
I'm going in the gutter. I don't go in the gutter.
I say you're standing at the edge of the gutter.
I'm
and I'm not even going there with you.
Well, I am allowed to go that far as a politician. I'm not going into the gutter.
There is sufficient defect
I'm not
in
going
both lists.
into the gutter. That's the mere fact. And when I started off here, I said, as politicians, we must never go into the gutter. But what is wrong standing at the edge of it? Nothing is wrong. But I am making it a point to you that 25% of the list, and this is not me making up stories.
But you only call
Google
a
the
couple
names.
names.
I'm going to call more if you want me.
Don't call people names.
It's unnecessary. All I am saying.
Not unnecessary.
When you call, please say allege. Please say allege.
The people vote for a list of candidates. Carl Singh had shot a lady.
Allegedly.
Didn't he shoot the lady?
Allegedly,
all right,
please.
He allegedly shot a lady in Region 9.
Ganesh.
He found himself on the list. Alistair Charlie, allegedly sexual molestation.
Alleged. We'd like to say alleged.
Allegedly sexual molestation.
Alleged.
Allegedly.
Hold on. Your leader, wasn't there an allegation made against him?
Was any charge?
Your council of elders that was supposed to bring a report to the thing. No, but you going ahead with all of these things. No, there's nothing to address. All I am saying.
Vanessa Kissoon apologized. Do you know that? Vanessa Kissoon.
No, that was
you
never
are talking about
that
the plaster in public.
I'm telling you that because
you are talking about the plaster in public.
That what she said was untrue.
No, she never apologized. Ganesh, come on.
She knows what she said is untrue.
Ganesh.
I'm saying to you, these are people. What I'm telling you about are cases that can be found by just Googling their names.
But that case that I just mentioned could be Googled. Could be Googled, no,
Google it, tell me what you find about it.
Man,
you find an individual saying one thing, has no merit to support it, and no case to support it, and even said she's sorry for doing it.
Okay. No, she never said publicly.
I never said she said
Google.
I never said she said publicly. I never said she said it
publicly. But we don't.
Unless
she said that publicly. Unless she said that publicly, we can't take her word for it.
I never said publicly. Well, here,
Ganesh, let's come from the gutter. Let's stand away from the gutter.
I'm in the gutter.
Let's stand away from the gutter and talk, right? Because
But Ganesh, you shouldn't say that, What's wrong with standing near to the gutter? Politicians, young people look up to them. You should be near the gutter, man.
Listen, you know the hypocrisy of you, Freddie, and Leonard. You write in support of the PPP. You are a candidate and you are a campaigner for the PPP. Every day, Jagdeo attacks other politicians. Jagdeo calls people slack buckter. Jagdeo talk about shit a bucket load. Jagdeo calls people fools. Jagdeo said people are no good. And two of you can't find it in yourself to even once make a statement that he is wrong to doing those things. But you want to look at the other side. Deal with what is at your home
Ganesh,
Deal with what is at your home first.
I am aware that Jagdeo called people fool and low life. But I don't know about those other things.
You don't know about the other one?
No,
I haven't said it to you. You don't watch Jagdeo press conference?
Yes, but I'm not aware of those other things.
2 o'clock Thursday market show. You know about the market show? 2 o'clock every Thursday?
Ganesh is still lining by the gutter.
No man, I move from the gutter long. This is a cleaner gutter. They buy Freddie gutter now. I never you one no more. Move on to Freddie one, a cleaner one.
No, what are you saying about tongue people, man? Anyway, Ganesh. So you are clear in your mind that just to wrap up on the question I asked that led you by the gutter, you are clear in your mind that wasn't subterfuge performed by those AFC crossovers to your party, and that you encouraged it. Not you as a person only, but as a party.
I don't think the party had no role to play in them removing themselves from the AFC. The party had no role in them.
Let me give you an example. There were things happening during Granger's time when just before the 2020 election and list and so on, and people wanted to move, and people went to Granger and say, man, me ain't able with this party, with the AFC. They had 1 or 2 people from the AFC and so on. Went to Granger and said, man, me ain't able with them people. I want y'all put me from the PNU side. And Granger told them flat out that I respect the relationship I have with the AFC, and I'm not encouraging poaching. Straight out, flat out. That we ain't going behind nobody back and do anything. Why couldn't you guys take the same high road with respect to those people?
Because those people were a part of the AFC and they did not express a challenge to their very AFC. Joretta, Sherrod, and Ricky, I think they had publicly stated that they have no interest in participating in these elections as a singular unit. And they said openly before coming to the APNU that they are all in support of coalition politics. And that brought them to the APNU. Mind you, the APNU consists of 7 political parties.
And which political party they are from?
Of which the PNC is the largest. And the APNU also has room to accepting people that are not within a political party. You were not inside a political party, Freddie, when you were a part of the APNU in 2015 campaigning for us. You were a supporter of the AFC, but you didn't come as a member of the AFC into the APNU.
I was never a member of any party.
Exactly. So you came as a supporter, an individual supporting the APNU. Jina Raman came the same way, Torin Durga came the same way, and many other names I can call. And in a similar vein, Sherrod, Joretta, and Ricky came as supporters to the APNU. The APNU 5 saw merit in Joretta being our prime ministerial candidate, and we supported it and endorsed it.
I want to, I'm going to ask
You
a
understand
question.
what I'm saying?
It don't mean I agree.
I don't want you to agree, I want you to understand.
I hear
it.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's a preface to my question now. When these negotiations were going on between the PNC/APNU and the AFC, led by whoever, you were part of the team from the APNU side.
Yeah.
Terence Campbell said he was trying for 6 months to break. He used the word break.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Break. No, I want to ask you something.
Metaphorically, he used it.
Right, to break Abrina. No. So it meant, therefore, that you were negotiating with Campbell.
No.
He said he was trying for 6 months.
So
to
who he
break-
was trying for 6
He
months
probably
with?
was negotiating with Aubrey himself. Nothing is wrong if he talks to Aubrey himself. I was negotiating with 3 people from the AFC, and I saw a document that I think I saw a letter or something that exposed the names of those 3 people.
But
And
Ganesh,
I will further solidify it with you.
but
that they
Ganesh,
were-
there is a contradiction in what you're saying. Norton himself, on I can't remember if it was a press conference or an interview, he said that he told Nigel Hughes that whether the AFC came because AFC was still actively pursuing coalition, and he said he told Nigel Hughes whether or not the AFC came that they have selected Joretta as their prime ministerial candidate, and it's up to Joretta if she wants to cede that
That's
position.
after everything. That's after everything. Now, let me take you through this activity so you'll understand it clearer. When the teams were
I hope
put
you're
together,
factual.
I'm very factual, always factual, and will forever be factual.
Self-praising get you nowhere.
I'm telling you that you know that of me, Freddie. You remember when I was challenging Evan Passad? I enjoyed your support all the time, and
Go
I'm
on,
very
go.
factual. Now listen to me.
Apart from
When
being
the
an
two
amusing
teams-
person.
When the 2 teams were put together, the AFC put together their team, the PNC put together their team. They met, they discussed. Both sides would then have to take back positions to their respective leaders. Those team discussions lasted a while. Then it moved a step further where the leaders then started to communicate. When the leaders started to communicate, the teams were in what I would say in abeyance. They were held in abeyance. The teams then came back into play after the leaders spoke. The teams went and the teams had to go back to the leader again, the leaders. The leaders then came into play, the teams went in abeyance again. And at some point during these movements, it broke down. When it broke down and went separately, that is when the APNU went ahead with my name resurrecting as prime ministerial candidate. And in the period when my name resurrected as when I say resurrected,
That's all right, Ganesh. I know you wanted to slip in the one, but it's all right. It's all right.
at the time when my name resurrected for prime ministerial candidate, that is when separately Juretta, Sherrod, and Ricky were making their
moves, their clandestine moves.
Whether you want to determine it as clandestine or not, but they were doing whatever they did there. And then when they came to Aubrey, it was during the period when we were having our meetings moving forward. And that is how they happened to have slipped in. Now, if they did not do that at that time, it could very well have been that I would have been named the prime ministerial candidate. And they would have come later or whatever. So all of that happened. Juretta was named prime ministerial candidate, Aubrey presidential candidate for APNU, and we are moving ahead with our election preparation because we got to get paraphernalia, we got to get the shirts, we got to get our GCOM thing set up, everything. You know, elections is none of the, well, you wouldn't know, you're just at the doorstep of the PPP. But elections are
The man was in AFC.
Ganesh, you're being... This man ain't moving from there to gutter, you know. He ain't moving from there to gutter.
Sorry.
You know I was a main cog in...
Sorry. Listen now. So preparation for election is heavy. So we could not have waited any longer for the AFC. So we moved ahead with Juretta and Aubrey and myself, and we are going ahead as election APU. Hold on. The AFC then come after and said that they're still interested. Well, if you're still interested, we already named Juretta. So it's up to Juretta now if she decides to do, and that's when Aubrey made that comment. So you got to understand the moving parts.
Freddie, ask your question.
You got to understand the moving parts of politics.
A lot of what Ganesh said, I don't want to put a label on it, but Ganesh, you're coming close to me putting a label on it. It begins with a B. But
you got to do your job, Leonard. You got to sell the people.
No. It's a B and a S. It's just a B and a S. But don't worry. Let's move on from that. You wanted to ask a question?
Wasn't BNS.
No. The two of you are having a very interesting talk.
When Irfan was selected, Irfan was selected in 2020, and we learned about his certificate that I get from the university over the River Region 3, fraudulent qualification.
Be careful, Ganesh. You're getting personal. Stop that, man. You're getting personal. That's the president you're talking about.
Let us get something clear, because he's the president. I can't say about something.
But you can't be so scandalous, man.
Let's move on.
Comrade shared that with us.
Let's move on.
Hold on. His own comrade Freddie. Hold on. Let me make sure we get this thing clear. Let us get this thing clear. When Irfan was elected as the presidential candidate of the PPP, a PPP comrade shared with us his qualifications.
That's normal. That is normal.
Not me with the party. The
Ganesh, you can believe that.
Showed us.
You can believe that, Ganesh.
Showed us it was in the public space. Freddie campaigned on that.
Who can believe
Freddie
that?
campaigned
Which
on that.
PPP man can come to you, Ganesh, and give you that? You don't think people know?
You'd be shocked. You would be shocked.
And
who would come to you and give you information for right?
And PNC,
How you get
PNC
information?
people don't go to PPP.
Yes, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no. AFC too.
Hear what I want to. Hear what I was going to ask.
Ganesh. Ganesh.
Sorry. Let me go.
Here,
Ready to catch the one.
I think I want this interview things to go down in history. So when the people write in, I can understand how you not to be blamed and you don't have any explanation for what Terence Campbell says. I concede that. But for Campbell to say publicly, I've been trying for 6 months to break, well, speaking figuratively, break Aubrey hand to break Aubrey hand to get to the agreement. How could you not know that was going on for 6 months? Aubrey has to tell the people.
I never said I didn't know that.
So you know Campbell and
I never said
you know Campbell and Norton were talking.
What I said to you, asked me if Campbell was talking to me.
Yeah, but you know Campbell and Norton was talking.
Yes.
Okay.
And
why?
They were trying to do exactly what the teams were trying to do. But how would you want Aubrey Norton to accept a 65%?
No.
For the AFC?
I want to answer.
That is ludicrous.
No. But why?
You, a former AFC, knows that.
No, Ganesh. This man is.
You wouldn't even come with that.
Ganesh, this man is a newcomer to politics. Campbell, he has no experience. And for 6 months, he talking with after Gail Teixeira, the most experienced active politician. What was Norton saying to Campbell and Campbell saying to Norton?
Aubrey Norton is more experienced than Gail Teixeira in politics. Aubrey came into politics in 1972.
Oh, and there's just 2 more years more than thing. But
you see,
all right.
a factual. That's what I'm trying
I
to
don't know if that is true.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't
But
know.
Aubrey
You're
has said
saying a
that-
lot of things.
No,
that
but
are
Aubrey
not
has
true.
said that.
But
People are saying
they're
things.
But could we could we get it back to
There's a
could we get back to
recording
Guyana
to show
historiography?
Yeah, yeah.
How could Norton, that's a man I know, and I know his analytical mind. I said in the papers he has an analytical mind. What could Terence Campbell be saying to Aubrey Norton for 6 months
Freddie,
about this APN?
You gotta get the PDP to put AC in this house, man. The place is very hot. And we continue, sorry.
Why would but anyway, the other one that I wanted to talk, Aubrey Norton publicly say, I'm not negotiating with Alston Stewart. And apparently he was initial negotiator.
One of the three. He was
What do you, if you can speak for yourself or the PNC, what was objectionable about him that Norton didn't want to negotiate with?
Alston was uncouth, if I may use that word, and out of order. I'm going to just use those 2 words, those 2 phrases, if I can use them. I don't want to
And
go in there.
when you found that out in the first meeting?
For me, I think
You were with him across the table?
Yes, I am. I have an. I agree. Self-praise is no recommendation, but I have a skill, I think, of reading people's how they operate. And from day one, I saw him as someone who thought he could have easily
Railroad
the PNC, but he didn't know who he was meeting.
I got
and I'm
that
going to give you a
vibe.
joke.
I
I'm
get
going to
that
give you a
vibe
joke.
No, I want the facts.
But I'm
not
going to
the
give you a
joke.
joke. No, but it's facts what I'm going to say, but in a
But
joking way. I was the last person to come to the meeting because the traffic had disturbed me. It was a Saturday and the
You were
traffic had
late.
disturbed me. So I was late. And deliberately so too. Because I had in my mind.
But
how
if
I
it's
was-
deliberate, you can't be late.
Yeah, but I was late, deliberately so, because I was supposed to reach for a particular time. But I deliberately had in my mind how I was going to enter the room because I know they would not start without me. That's how important I am.
Oh, Ganesh.
Now, when I walked in the room, I knew I was going to meet with people that I know, except Alston, because I never met him. So when I walked in, the first thing I said was, all right, let's get this going. 90 for the PNC, 10 for the AFC. What more do we have to discuss? Let's go.
You were just being
I
facetious.
was being facetious. But I deliberately did that. And the reaction
test
from Alston was, who's this young fella? Where did he come from? So I was trying to...
He didn't know who you were?
I think he may have known or maybe he didn't. I don't know. But the point I'm making
But
is
then
that I deliberately
your profile
did
wasn't high
that.
enough for him to know
I
that.
deliberately did that. Don't try it. Don't try it. You can't do it as good as I do it. You can't do it as good as I do
You
it.
bet I can, but you're my guest.
You tried before.
In another circumstance, I would have done
But we
it
don't
anyway. Anyway, you're my guest, so
Yeah.
protocol has to be observed.
So I deliberately said that to see his reaction and so on. And from his reaction, from the negotiation, from the movements and so on, I saw him as wanting to be a bully and he didn't know who he was coming up against. But I could tell you he came up against 3 masterclass negotiators.
That's Norton, you, and who's the other
No,
one?
Norton is not one.
Who was the three?
I don't know if I'm at liberty to
Oh,
disclose them.
no,
it's a
it's a
public,
public thing who were
Just the names of the
negotiate.
people who
Well,
were
how could that be anything negative?
We know on the other
No,
side
it's
was
not
Alston.
negative.
Why you
Stewart,
can't say
David Patterson.
myself, David Jones,
And
Patricia
Raphael
Singh?
Chapman.
You
who are
see
Why you
what
can-
he did just now? He called the 3 names of which they are inaccurate information.
No, he was giving it just an example.
No, he said to me just now that he knows the 3 names are.
No, well, that is what
Alston
appeared.
Stewart.
That's what appeared in
He said
the
Alston
press.
Stewart,
You have
David
a chance
Patterson,
to clear up your thing.
David Patterson, who else?
And Raphael
And
Chapman.
Raphael
That is
Chapman.
the
I tell you
name
that
was
those are
circulating.
not the names.
Alston Stewart, Raphael Chapman, and who else?
I
Were on
don't
that
tell,
side.
I don't want, I'm not going to
But how could that be any
no, don't
privy
ask-
Alright, yeah, that's alright. That's alright. If you don't want
I
to.
don't know if I'm at liberty to call people's
on
names.
information that is harmless?
But I don't know if it's harmless. If I can,
You have a party
you know
that's
what information I start and say think is harmless to me, and then you said, "Oh God, you write this to you."
No, but
You know, all the information I talk about.
but the people negotiate.
All the information I spoke
but-
about just now about the 25% of bad people on the PPP
No,
list
you're accusing
are-
people
No,
of a crime.
in the public space.
No, but that can't be, the analogy can't be the
It's in
same.
the public
The
space.
analogy can't be the same. But anyway, operator signal about 2 minutes ago that we have 10 minutes, so which means we have 8 minutes.
So Ganesh,
I want-
go ahead.
I got
Ganesh,
trained how to
you-
conduct interviews, you know.
Ganesh, you
Yeah,
stop.
let's look some
Ganesh,
loose
stop.
sometimes.
Ganesh,
Anyway.
stop praising yourself, please. Ganesh, you are saying that Azwadin had no relation with the PNC. During the Adriana Young tragedy, there were ongoing interactions between Azwadin Mohammed and PNC people.
Provide your facts about that. Provide your evidence. You
Well, we
can't
could
be
say-
making statements
we
that
could-
you don't have facts to support.
We could say that, you know which thing to say are
Tell
facts?
me, tell
Who's
me,
the man,
where
who's
is
the
it?
PPP man that give you the information, but so-called information with AFAN qualification? Where's your
Leonard
fact?
Craig.
Where's,
Bobo, ask more questions, I'll answer you. You see, I
you see,
answer you now.
that
You're
you're prepared to concede.
I
You're
answer
prepared to
you.
concede
I
that
answer
you,
you.
Ganesh Mahipal,
Joke about it.
you do not recognize.
Viewers, that is not true what I
No,
just said.
I was
Right?
nowhere
just
near the
being-
PPP
I
at
was
the
just
time,
being
so it's-
facetious with
it's
Leonard here.
impossible.
You're not aware of Azwadin Mohammed during the Adrian Young thing actually meeting with Norton.
No, I'm not aware.
You know, but if he met with Norton, you said, tell
What
us.
I'm aware of is that Azadin Mohammed's vehicle was used to transport Irfan Ali after he was sworn in as president. What I am aware of is that Irfan Ali and Azadin Mohammed were, and I still believe are, best of friends.
Could you, and you're not aware that PNC people and Azudin Mohammed are friends. You're not aware from April, May, June, Azudin Mohammed interacting with people in the PNC leadership in the Adriana Young thing?
What I am
There's no
aware of-
video?
What I am
You know
aware-
there's video about that?
the talk at the
You know there's
there.
more than that.
No,
More
that's
than
all
that.
I know about. I don't know beyond that. What I do know
More
is
than that.
what I do know is that there is a WhatsApp chat that has exposed Irfan Ali
Man,
facilitating Azadin Mohammed.
we talking
in
about
the Lamborghini
yeah, but
scam
you seem to
or
be
game.
you want to
No,
be,
I'm telling you what I'm
You
aware
deny-
of.
But you know that's
You
not
are bringing-
factual.
You
That's
deny
what
it.
you've just said.
Oh,
You
it's
know.
not factual.
No.
If it's not, I apologize.
You
for
know
it.
that
But
it is not.
What I saw from Azadin's thing on the internet is that he showed WhatsApp communication that he able to pay this amount of money.
You
Irfan said
show
take
what
care
is
of it or
purported to be.
something are purported, fair enough, purported, alleged, whatever you want, put
Uh-huh.
polish it with. And but the point is, I am aware, and this is not purportedly or allegedly. I am aware that the two of them were best of friends.
hold on, you said that.
And
You
old
said
firewood doesn't
you
get
said-
land for kept.
you said Kissoon. I told you I haven't seen any public acknowledgement
Apology.
of Kissoon from Kissoon. You said you know she said it in private. I am telling
I
you.
never said that.
What did you say?
Why are you trying to-
Well, what have you said?
I said that I know she apologized.
Right.
That's all I
Gotta
said.
be in private.
That's all I said.
Gotta be in private.
Why it can be? Why it can be?
It's not in
Because
public.
it's not in the
It's
public
non-public.
space.
No, but listen to me. There's a difference between when something is private and when something is public.
No,
Public,
private
let's
to the
just start. Hold
PNC.
on.
Private to the PNC,
Hold
that's
on.
all it could be.
Yeah,
Either
but
private to
listen.
Norton or private to the PNC.
Well, God, you see, there's
Right?
there's an option which one it could be.
But it's still
Or it could
private,
be
it is not public.
Or it could be private to only a selected group of people.
But it is still
Are you agreeing
private,
with
it
me?
is not public.
But that's why I'm saying.
And a public
And that
allegation
is
was
why-
made.
listen to me.
It's in the news space.
Leno.
And y'all had a group of elders who
Leno.
claim they're going to investigate
Yes.
and come back.
Yes.
And all of that. The point I'm making here
The point
is
I
that
don't need to tell you
no.
what
You
is
are
my
saying that
friend.
you know. Hold on. You know that these people are best of friends. The same thing going on everywhere. There are people who were best of friends in the past and are no longer best of friends now, and allegations were made back and forth. and it happens in your
And
party,
I'm
it
saying
happens
they're
in
gonna
every
make up, they're
party.
gonna kiss and make up, that's what I'm telling you.
Just like Vanessa Kissoon kiss and make up with Norton.
I don't know if they're kiss and make up, but
Man, well,
I don't know what's
man,
your definition.
Hold
of
on,
kiss
man.
and-
Let
Listen,
me just ask you a
I
quick
just gotta
question.
be careful with
Let
you
me ask
when
you a
it
quick
comes to them
question.
kind of words, because I don't want you to say about resurrection and so on. I say nothing else.
Ganesh,
Be
Ganesh.
very careful with you
Ganesh.
and those words.
Where you going with them low blow and all
Man,
kind of
what
thing?
kind of low
Man,
blow? I don't know low
Ganesh.
blow.
Anyway,
Why
it is
is it low blow?
it is what it is, Ganesh. But however, there was a report publicly. You answered that you recommended Jarrett and all of that. There's a report that you were bitter. When did your bitterness end?
Where was the report that I was bitter?
It's
No,
in the
it
public
was around-
domain.
It was in the public
you can't
domain.
Make up things, Len. No, you can't.
No, I didn't make up
You're
things.
making
It was
up.
in the public
You're
domain.
making it up.
And since they,
Ganesh, you didn't see
how
that.
you
And
been here, you
I
make
didn't
up
have
nothing.
Never bitter.
You didn't
I played a role, viewers. I played a role in ensuring that the fittest person.
We must believe you.
And I'm telling you.
So
that
you
when
found a way
You know-
to get
you know
over
what
your
you have
bitterness.
done.
I was
That's
never
what-
bitter.
Oh,
I was
okay.
never bitter. Look at how you got over your bitterness with the AFC. You joined a bitter party. I was never
So
bitter.
you come in and
If
attack
I
me
was
because
bitter-
I asked you the question.
No, if I was bitter, maybe I would have done something that you did to ease my bitterness, go with a bitter party. But I didn't do that. I stayed with my party because I wasn't bitter. You were bitter with the AFC and you ran
That's
the
the
PPP.
that's the report you got.
Yeah, a nasty
Oh,
party.
okay.
You
And
ran
that was
from-
in the public
you ran
domain
from the
and so
AFC
on.
to a nasty party. And
Ganesh,
Freddie writes to the nasty party.
Ganesh,
APN is the cleanest party.
Oh,
yeah.
by far, yes.
you got,
Yeah.
let Ganesh praise himself. Ganesh, how you were part of this negotiating team with AFC? How you didn't expect them to have concessions? You denied them the presidential candidate. You denied them the leader of the list. You denied them 40% of parliamentary seats. Isn't it legitimate expectation that the people have to have something substantial?
So you believe
What-
we didn't give them anything?
Well, I'm asking,
What
what
did you-
were you?
All right, so the presidential candidate, ours, the APNU. The prime ministerial candidate,
Them.
The leader of the list, APNU. The deputy leader of the list, AFC. The speaker of the National Assembly, AFC. In terms of the spoils, the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, the AFC. And there are about seven I think to be exact, ministries aligned to, including the Ministry of Education and I think the Minister of Home Affairs. I'm not certain about that one, I could be wrong. But there were 7 that were going to them.
7 ministries
7
were assigned
ministries
to
out
them.
of the 18. The percentage as far as we were prepared to go was 35-65. We were not prepared to go further than that. In fact, the initial position was 70-30, and as far as we were willing to compromise, that's the PNC, the APNU, was 35 for them, 65 for us. And I think we had also compromised on, this is continuous negotiation, we had also compromised on the representative of the list to be a person that is acceptable to both AFC and APNU, but not the 2 leaders. We had reached to that position. We broke down at the point where the percentage is of concern. The percentage was the major problem. The percentage created the issue. The AFC unfortunately had proposed at first, I think it was 65%, then it came down to 55, and then it reached to 45. It never accepted the 70-30, 70 for the APNU and 30 for the AFC. They never accepted that. When we were willing to go as far as 35-65, that I don't recall being accepted either.
So you were saying,
And we also had agreed that the percentage in terms of the spoils, that it would not just stick at the ministerial level, it would have gone at the parliamentary level. It would have trickled down to the respective regions in terms of appointments of REOs, regional councillors, and all other political appointments would have reflected the percentage.
so let's
that
get
we
this
were willing
quite,
to go at.
let's get this for the history books. That negotiation or those negotiations broke down on the simple factor of a disagreement between percentage split of power? Is that what it broke down? Never AFC accepting anything.
They did not accept the percentage.
That is what
that was. The percentage,
so-
as I said, their percentage had them in the higher and us in the lower. And they had reached to as far as 60-40. And we had reached as far as 35-65.
I want to, the guy signaling we got to go. So I have one question, you have one question. Do you think the AFC right now, I'm asking you this as an active politician in and around Guyana, mixing with people, do you think the AFC has any kind of electoral support in Guyana? And would you care to put what parliamentary seat you think they will get?
I think the AFC is comprised right now of reputable professionals, reputable people that I have good relationship with. I just think that they are politically not there. I don't think they are politically astute in their capacity, but they are damn good professionals. And
I'm asking about politics.
I know, but I want to make that point.
Yeah, but you make that point clear. What you think?
But
do
I
they
don't
have
think
support?
politically they are astute, and if I am to ascribe in my own political analytical mind, which I do have, I would give them 2 seats.
Leonard, quickly, and then we have to go.
Yeah.
Quickly, please give a quick
I
response.
wanted to get a quick response on they were presidential candidates' names
Quickly.
floated around. One time we heard Elson Lowe, one time we heard the same guy, Church's guy, Terence Campbell, and then one time we heard Nigel Hughes. What was the reception of your 5 to that kind of thing and the general party?
I think the Elson Lowe name was a name that surfaced from God knows where. It was never discussed in our party. Terence Campbell's name was never floated by us. I think it was floated by the AFC.
Yeah, and what you felt about that?
The party,
and at any time did Aubrey say that he is willing to, or signal that if something works out in whatever manner, he is willing to see that position at any time?
Yes, he did say, he said it publicly that that if he feels obligated to, he will, but his party will have to give him that assurance and guarantee. And the party instead moved a motion that gave him the authority not only, but the full support and endorsement that he...
Did the name Amanza Walton came up for any leadership position, like
No,
in the fore of the prime ministerial?
Amanza is a political neophyte. Amanza has a lot more to do in terms of substance.
We gotta go.
Amanza just have to do more to be less at the top of the surface and go deeper.
We gotta go.
We never surface.
Freddie, give you 2 minutes.
We gotta get out here to see the minister.
Which minister you going to see, Freddie? I can't come?
No, it's
I want to see the
it's
minister.
an interview.
Too.
We were broadcasting
Which
from
minister we going to see, Freddie?
Ganesh, please observe protocol.
I would like to go see the minister too. Why I can't see the minister?
You're the man disturbing
Who's
Freddie
it?
now.
Manic Chan again?
We're going to do an interview, which is none of your business.
But you're telling me which minister?
But why should I tell you?
It's disturbing the interview.
Why should I
We could
tell
have
you?
get in a little question in
but why
this
should I
1
tell
minute.
you who we
Why
going to
I can't know
interview?
what
That's
minister
not
you're going to see?
We gotta go. There's one thing I want to see. We were broadcasting from my home with Ganesh Mahipal, vice presidential candidate for the APNU. Before we go, some things viewers would know. We're in my living room, and so we have to take our shoes off. And Ganesh Mahipal is wearing
A red sock.
very expensive pair of socks. I have a cheap pair of Chinese socks. He is wearing
An expensive red sock.
You know how much a pair of Hanes socks? That's the
socks.
working class party, the PNC.
Red goes on my foot
I'm
because
talking
I
about
walk on dirt.
Let's
Red
end this
goes
here.
on my foot because I
You
walk
buy
on
Hanes
dirt.
socks?
I walk
You
on
buy
dirt.
Hanes
No, the
socks?
man is
This
a
the socks
secret.
we're
You
talking
buy
about,
Hanes
Freddie.
socks?
This sock
This
is
is a
grey,
trend.
black, and
Here,
this
I'm
red.
talking about the
Black and red, the
You
man
walk on
wearing.
there, red
The
got
man
your foot
secretly harboring
Red got
We gotta
a
go, we
certain
gotta go.
sentiment. Secretly harboring a certain
We gotta go.
sentiment.
Take care of a very pleasant
Catch one,
weekend.
catch one.
Bye bye.